Channel. This is your favorite and only world history teacher coming at you kind of live. Weird, well, not really. It's recorded, but it's live for me. Um, this video is all about the Q&A. So that survey that I sent out that not everyone responded to, like 26, which is not a lot, but it's more than zero, I suppose. Look at that math, killing it, right? Anyway, so I will be answering. I'll be referencing the suggestions that you gave me, as well as the questions that you still may have. So first one is suggestions. One of the first ones: can you tell us when you're going to be uploading videos? For sure. So as y'all know, we had that Q&A from the principal, and then it was like each teacher is going to be giving you a schedule about what to expect and when things are due and all that stuff. So the schedule after spring break, the schedule I will be giving out, I'll be like, the videos will be uploaded around a certain time frame. This is what's expected. This is when I'm going to be doing responses, things like that. So you will have a better idea of when I'm going to be delivering content to each and every one of you. So I hope that will help. Next, maybe give us a quiz. I can't believe y'all be asking for quizzes, but I can, you know what? If you want quizzes, I will give you a quiz every single day. Yay! But no, for real though, I can give you an optional quiz on this. All this stuff right now that we're doing is optional. After spring break, it's going to start being mandatory, and it will be great. Okay, no, nothing. Ever heard of audio buffering or software that doesn't horribly compress? I've read that like 8 times and it makes me laugh every single time. No, I haven't. If you have any suggestions and give me software. Oh no. Whoever wrote that, that's hilarious. Thank you. Maybe point out concepts that notes should be taken on. I don't know. That I didn't like. I don't know. Like it says, I don't know. Um, I could point those out. I can. I'm gonna try to do some maybe type of guided notes. Like next after spring break, I'll try and put out like, hey, like watch my videos, watch these PowerPoint things I've been doing. Here's guided notes to help you along the way. I could try to do something like that. If that's helpful, whoever wrote that, if that's helpful, please respond. Like send me an email and be like, that was my suggestion. Please do that. While the videos are helpful, if there's a way to make them more more entertaining. That was such a nice way of saying, Mr. Hanks, you're boring. You got lame since the quarantine. I'll try. I'm gonna do my best. That's so funny. I understand it's a little weird, the camera. It's just a nitpick for me personally. That's funny. um, not a suggestion, but oh, thank you. Someone said it was a great way. I'm assuming everyone that hasn't responded to the videos yet, you're all saying it's great. Maybe link articles and videos to help supplement. Yes, I definitely can. If someone, like for instance, if someone didn't understand capitalism, uh, needed more help, yeah, I can definitely try and do that. I'll try and find it. If I don't do that or if I forget, crash courses are always really, really, really good to give you like broad overarching concepts, but he does go a million miles a minute. He is a fast talker, and that's coming from a fast talker. So, yeah, those are all great suggestions. Thank you for those of you that have given those. I really appreciate it. And then there are some questions that people had in terms of the Industrial Revolution. Someone's asked, what effects did the Industrial Revolution have on different parts of the world? Fantastic question. I love it. I love it. Oh, wait. Hold up. Wait a minute. Oh, sorry. I thought I heard a chopper or something. I don't know. But that was weird. But anyway, getting back to the questions, what effects did the Industrial Revolution have on different parts of the world? Incredible. I love the question. So we went through about Industrial Revolution and like it started in Great Britain because they had like geographical luck and they had transportation, like they had everything you needed for it to flourish. It was like the 2013 Seattle Seahawks right? They had everything they needed to get that championship. Woo, let's go. Uh, sorry, my wife's a Patriots fan. Boo, boo. But anyway, she gave me a look like I don't like that. But they had everything, right? So what? Like, why wasn't everyone else on that? Why were they just like, oh, like why don't we do that too? So, well, why? But they didn't know yet. Like, they didn't have all the resources. So it started in Great Britain, and then have y'all ever like chucked a rock into like a very like placid or like calm pond, and it's like boosh, and then like all those rings ripple out? The same thing is kind of taking place. So like Great Britain is like where the rock hits the water, and then Belgium kind of is the next country. And if y'all don't know where Belgium is, so it's like the UK is like here, and then you like cross over the water, and like Belgium is really close, is like borders. It's like in between France and modern day Germany. So if you don't know, pause my video. I'll wait. Okay, you should have seen it now on the map, Google Maps. If you didn't, I'll pause again. Okay, there we go. So take a look. So that's where it's at, and then it goes to Prussia or well Prussia now, and it continues to expand, expand, expand until like everywhere has been industrialized. Now the next follow up question that I'm sure y'all have in class would be like, Mr. Higgs, and I'd be like, yes, you, and then they'd be like, why like does industrial evolution like why didn't like what happened here why did it move? Well, that's a great question, the great follow-up question, like why did Great Britain not become like why is it not an industrial capital anymore? Like why did that shift? Well, when you look at industrialization, right, so as they're doing it, as they're industrializing and making more factories and whatnot, the cost of doing business is now increasing, right? So wages are going up, and as you have wages going up, the cost of that product also has to go up, right? Like if it takes $20 of labor to produce something, you have to factor that into your product. Now, if you can take that $20 labor and you put it somewhere else, and now the labor costs go down, you can lower the cost of your product, make more money, if that makes sense. If it doesn't, again, suggestions. But that's what happens. So like they're in Great Britain over time. I'm not saying like industrial revolution like the next day they're like, oh no, we gotta outsource. But like over time it needs to be outsourced. Okay. And then that also brings into like why did product factories pop up in certain places? Well, it's because that's where the raw goods were at. That's where they were at, right? So Great Britain's going around, they're using their coal, they're using their iron, they're like, oh my god, we are so lucky, we are geographically blessed. Holla back to Unit 2, right? So but then I don't know about you, but iron doesn't, you can't just grow iron on trees. You can't just like plant like iron ore and then it like blooms into this beautiful iron tree.
Unless you play Animal Crossing.
Unless you're in Animal Crossing, then apparently you can do that. You can't hit, you don't just like shovel rocks and like it pops out. Like that doesn't happen. Okay? So you can't do that in the real world. You can in Animal Crossing apparently, but not in the real world. So when you use up all those resources, you got to look elsewhere. Right? So where they be looking? They be looking at Africa, like Africa, South Asia, South America. That's kind of like where they're looking, and that's where you're kind of seeing imperialism. Imperialism is like industrial revolution plays into imperialism because they're looking for raw materials and they're looking to exploit. They're exploiting the living daylights out of these places, and they're doing that because they need those raw materials. They need them. They need them. Okay, like they need them, but they don't do. So they exploit them, and that's where like that whole imperialism, like that is like we're gonna see that play a massive role everywhere for the rest of the year and into World 3. You're gonna see imperialism like rear its ugly head for sure, for sure. Okay. Anyway, so I hope you kind of understand like industrial revolution effects on the world. Like we can even talk about the United States. The industrial revolution really plays a big role here. The North is super industrial. The South is super rural. Rural. That is so hard to say. Why? Why do they have to make words hard to say? It's and that's where it's like cotton grown in the South, shipped to the North, so it can make textiles like this, like Transit, the band out of Boston. Fun fact. Um, so that's where they're making it. Why, if you go over to the East Coast today, you will see tons of like old textile mills. They're no longer in operation because the cost of doing business was too high. So they had to outsource, which is why you have, if you ever look at your shirts, you'll see like Bangladesh, you'll see China. That's where they're made because the cost of doing business is lower and they can sell shirts at a lower cost. That's an economics tie-in too. Hey. All right. Next question. I am confused about the supply and demand analogy with the raincoat. Yeah, my analogies are hit and miss. Sometimes they're fantastic. Sometimes they're rubbish. And that one might have been rubbish, and I apologize if that's the case. But let's do this. I'll give you some other examples. So like the law of supply and demand. So like let's take demand first. So have y'all ever like looked around when you're like walking through the halls? When we were walking through the halls, like champion sweatshirts, they'd be everywhere. They'd be popping, right? Everyone needs their champion sweatshirts. Everyone needs their champion gear. Everyone. Well, when I was in high school, that was not the case. You have to understand, when I was in high school, you could buy champion sweatshirts for like $8 at Walmart. Like no one wanted them. Like they were not popular at all. So like what changed? Well, like demand changed, right? So when I was in high school, and I am old, but I'm not like that old. I guess depending on your perspective. Sometimes I feel old. But anyway, like when you have this demand, it went up. And the reason it went up is because like hip hop artists, R&B, all of them started like influencers started to wear Champion, and then people were influenced. It's so funny. They were influenced to buy them, right? So you have this supply that's set here. The demand was low. People start wearing them. More people like them. More people like them. More people. All of a sudden, like the demand for champions up here, the supply, like they don't have to change the supply. So instead of charging like $8, they can charge like $60, and y'all will buy it. So that's like how demand can shift. Another reference would be like, or example for demand is like famous artists, right? So like Vincent Van Gogh, right? Back in the day when he was alive, he sold one one painting to his brother. Yo, you can buy his, like you can't even buy his paintings now for like less than millions upon millions of dollars because everyone wants them, right? Because again, he's his supply. He's like painting, cuts off his ear, but still painting. Ah, no, I died. Okay, so now his demand is set, or his supply. Sorry, his supply is set. The demand is down here, and then people are like, wow, his paintings are really cool. His paintings are really great. Wow, I really want them. Oh my god, what? Everyone's like, ah, we want the paintings. Well, now the demand's way up here, and the supply is already set. Like you can't like bring him back from the dead. Like this ain't Walking Dead stuff. Like you can't do that. He's done. So that's why his paintings are so expensive now because there's a set supply, but the demand's only going to go up. If any of you have an original Vincent Van Gogh and you want to donate to me, I wouldn't say no because I love it. I have socks with Vincent. That's how much I. Okay, but and then on the other side of the coin you have supply. So everyone loves their free shabakadu. Everyone loves avocados. So I've been told I like avocados. They're delicious. But anyway, avocados can only grow in certain places. Well, what happens if you're always supposed to supply 1,000,000 avocados to California, right? California is like, we like avocados, but we only need 1,000,000 of them. Well, if there's a really bad drought and the supply goes down, demand is still here, right? Supply is going down, so you have to increase the cost to associate for that, right? Like, oh, we can't supply 1,000,000, we can only supply 500,000 because of drought. Well, the cost of those avocados is going to go through the roof. But let's say the avocado trees just be dropping avocados like crazy this year. They're like going all out. They're balling, and you have like 2 million avocados, right? But the demand is still a million. The supply has gone so far so beyond. You have to decrease the cost because that's how it works, right? Because if like who's gonna buy an avocado for $1? Like, if are you gonna buy it for $1 if you know that the supply is way beyond $1? No, you're going to. It's going to be factored in. So that's kind of what we're talking about. Like that's how supply and demand affect um, products. So like when we're talking about the industrial revolution specifically, we're talking like we'll take textiles for example, like this woven shirt, right? So originally they had to like do it by hand. They had to be like one thread at a time, like doing their thing. But it takes a long time to make a shirt. I mean, I haven't personally tried, but I'm assuming this takes a really long time. So because the supply of like making things is so low and demand is high, the cost is insane, which means not a lot of people can get them, or if you can't get them, they're expensive, so you don't have a lot. Now with the advent of new technology and like the spinning jenny, things like that, and using mills to like produce these, and instead of taking a day to do this, for instance, it takes maybe 3 minutes. So now you have this supply that was here and the demand's here. Now you have supplies go, so you can sell these for significantly less. More people have access to them, and as a whole, society benefits because more people can buy shirts, and they don't cost an arm and a leg. They cost, for instance, like this shirt maybe costs like $15. Like I wouldn't buy this shirt for a $5 million. Like that would be insane. But because so many of these can be produced so quickly and so easily, and they're so readily available, they can charge less. Okay, so I hope those are the two big questions. I hope those are answered. If I didn't do a great job, you just got to let me know. Continue to respond. I will answer emails. I will answer anything that y'all send my way. If you haven't filled out that survey, I really would appreciate it because this is a great way for me to respond. Also, I usually open with a anecdotal information thing about me, but I forgot. So to answer some of the questions again from like the beginning of the year when I said that, one of the things was like, who's your favorite original character? I take that as like a favorite Disney original character. The Fab Five being like Mickey, Minnie, Pluto, Donald, and Goofy. Obviously, I gotta go with Mickey. Mickey is the original. He is the best. He is the one. He's the boss. Numero uno. I love Mickey. And we have a bunch of like Mickey pops because I say we as in like my wife and I love Mickey. Is your favorite Mickey?
Out of the Fab Five?
Yeah. It's a tough. Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought. Yeah. So Mickey for sure. Anyway, again, with that, please let me know if there's anything that I missed or anything that you're still uncertain about. And with that, Mr. Hakes is out.